Every single legend you have ever cheered for eventually stops playing. The whistle blows for the last time, the stadium empties, and then they just disappear from your screen. But here's the thing nobody really tells you. They do not actually disappear. They go somewhere. And where they go ends up saying a lot more about football than any highlight reel ever could. Let us start with the obvious question first. Why do legends even retire when half the planet still wants to watch them play? In theory, if you are good enough to be called a legend, you should be able to keep going forever. In practice, the body simply stops agreeing with that plan. Knees give out, recovery time after matches stretches longer and longer. A 35-year-old needs 2 or 3 days just to feel normal after a match that a 22-year-old shakes off overnight. So even the greatest players who ever lived eventually hit a wall where the mind still wants to play, but the body quietly votes no. That is usually the real moment retirement happens. Not because they want to stop, but because continuing would mean embarrassing themselves on a stage they once completely owned. Here is where it actually gets interesting though. Not every legend retires the same way, and the way they choose to leave tells you a lot about who they really are. Underneath all the trophies, some go out almost on purpose, quietly. You know the type. No big announcement, no farewell tour, just a short statement and they are gone the next day. Others want one last emotional moment. A final match in front of their home crowd, a guard of honor from both teams walking off the pitch together. And then there is a rarer type. The ones who announce it in the most unexpected way possible. Live on air, mid-broadcast, catching even their own teammates off guard. Each style says something different about how that player saw their own career, as a job that simply ended, or as a story that deserved a proper final chapter. Now, what actually happens once the boots finally come off? This sounds simple, it is not. There are basically 4 paths most retired legends end up walking down, and almost every famous name you can think of fits neatly into one of them. The first path is coaching. This is the most common move by far, and honestly it makes sense. You spend 20 years living inside the game, understanding pressure, tactics, dressing room politics better than almost anyone else alive. A lot of legends try to turn that knowledge into a second career on the sidelines. Some succeed brilliantly. Others discover very quickly that being a great player and being a great coach are 2 completely different skill sets. Reading the game from inside the pitch is not the same thing as explaining it clearly to 25 other grown men who all secretly think they know better. The second path is staying close to the club, just in a different role. Ambassador, academy mentor, club legend on retainer for match days. This is the safe, comfortable option. You still get stadium access, the respect, the occasional ceremonial appearance, without the crushing pressure of results resting on your shoulders anymore. A lot of legends quietly pick this path because, after decades of pressure, comfort eventually starts sounding pretty appealing. The third path is going somewhere completely unexpected to keep playing, a little longer, just slower. Smaller, quieter. You will see legends who spent their entire prime at giant European clubs suddenly playing out their final months at a small club back in their home country, somewhere nobody really expected. From the outside, it looks like a step down. For the player, it is often the exact opposite. It is going home, finishing the story where it actually started, on their own terms instead of being pushed out the door by a bigger club that no longer needs them. And the fourth path, the one fans love the most because it feels the most dramatic, is simply disappearing entirely. No coaching role, no ambassador title, nothing. They retire, and they genuinely vanish from the spotlight. Some go quiet because they are simply exhausted from 2 decades of being watched every single day of their life. Others step back because injuries left them needing real time to heal, physically and mentally, before even deciding what comes next. Here is a pattern worth noticing too. Players who won everything, every possible trophy, tend to retire the calmest. There is nothing left chasing them, no unfinished business haunting the decision. But players who came close and never quite got that one trophy, the final they lost, the World Cup that slipped away, those retirements usually carry more weight. You can hear it in how they talk about hanging up their boots. There is pride in what they built. Sure, but there is also this quiet, lingering what if that never fully goes away. This is also exactly why World Cup years specifically turn into retirement seasons for so many legends at once. World Cup is the one trophy that genuinely cannot be replaced by anything at club level, no matter how many league titles or cups sit on the shelf already. So players hang on year after year, specifically chasing one more shot at it, even when their body has been quietly telling them to stop for a while now. And once that tournament finally ends, win or lose, a wave of legends call it a career within months of each other. That is not a coincidence. That is players finally allowing themselves to stop chasing something that was always going to be their last realistic shot at it. So next time you watch a retirement announcement and think, well, that is just the end of a story, remember it is actually the start of a completely different one. Coaching, ambassador roles, a quiet return home, or total disappearance from the spotlight. Every legend ends up picking a lane, and which lane they choose tells you more about who they really were than any trophy ever could. If you want the next video to dig into specific legends and exactly which path each one chose, drop a comment with the name, and I will build the next breakdown around it. Subscribe if stories like this make you appreciate the game beyond just the scoreline. You are welcome.